Hello and welcome to the Thread to Mend podcast. My name is Taylor and I come to you from Baltimore, Maryland. This is a podcast about all things that are fiber related. I do mostly touch on the subjects of knitting and spinning. And in this episode, I want to show you really quick a little granny square that I crocheted with my hand spun sample spins that I showed to you in my previous episode. So here it is. The sun is shining bright in this window, so I'll just cover my face in case you can see it better that way. It is the winter almost, so lighting is tough to find. I really just get short bits of this. So it is the sparkle in the center, and then the taupey brown here. I just cast on, well, I guess you don't say cast on, but I, in the round, double crocheted 12 stitches, and then I, into the four corners, crocheted 6 stitches into each corner. And then I repeated that in the next row, doing 3 stitches between each little kind of chunk. And I kept doing that for a few rows, and then I bound off sort of, or I guess you don't say bound off in crochet, but I did a round of single crocheting 3 stitches into each corner to increase so that it is square. And I would single crochet into the space between the grouping of stitches, but into the top of these 2 stitches. So it would kind of be like between, and then into, between, into. So that's just, I think it looks a little neater that way. And this is just going to be a little coaster in my yarn room. So I'm excited to have this. I really do feel like it's so valuable to knit or crochet your hand spun yarn to really improve your knitting in a way that's, to improve your spinning in a way that's non-spinning. You just get to know better the characteristics of the yarn that you're making, the density of it, the handle of it, gauge kind of shifts and changes as you use the yarn in different ways, like whether you, I don't know, it kind of like blooms, right? So, and I feel like hand spun yarn blooms even more than a commercial yarn could sometimes. So, yeah, this is that. So the lighting dramatically changed since I started this recording. So, I have a habit of recording each of my episodes several different times, so this episode might be a composite of multiple recordings I've made the last 24 hours or so. So if you see a wardrobe change, that's why. I want to thank you if you watched any of my, or either of my 2 Vlogmas videos. They're really not a true Vlogmas because there's no holiday cheer, I guess, but I have a hard time vlogging. I don't have the capacity to vlog in my daily life. I have a job that is very kind of public facing, and so I don't feel like it's appropriate for me to pull out a camera and like show even snippets of it, really. I also kind of want to keep that sort of private, I think. So I don't know. I mean, I just thought, why not record my morning feeding of all the pets? And so pretty much like 2 mornings in a row, I just like whipped out the camera to show my hi hellos to each of my cats and dog, and then the feral colony. So just put it over a nice basic death metal track. Genocide Pact is an amazing band. I love them personally. I love them musically. So anyway, thanks for enjoying that if you did. And if you didn't, which I know many people don't enjoy the combination of death metal and knitting or spinning, that's okay. You can find another Vlogmas on this wide array of options to enjoy. So thanks for being there anyway. Like as always, subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this episode of the Thread to Mend podcast, and give it a thumbs up so people also on YouTube will find it and see it and enjoy it also. I don't have a lot to show you this week. I did do a fair bit of knitting on my Jenny at the fair. This is the first cardigan I've ever knit and will steek, so I'm really excited about this. This is the back. And this is the front. I finished the front tops of the pockets, but I still have to sew in the pockets so that it is a true pocket. It's not just a flap of fabric inside of a sweater. But I kind of hit a snag here on the body where I've begun chart B, but chart B isn't matching my stitches, and I realized I have 4 fewer stitches on my needles than the pattern is calling for in my size, so I must have done a decrease round sooner than I should have, and I'm not sure if I'm going to rip back to be on point with the pattern, which I might do just for sanity's sake, and lack of, I just don't want to doubt myself constantly. So I decided to take a short little break from this and cast on the sleeves because, that way I'm still working on the project, but kind of stepping away for a second, and I started the first sleeve. So this is just like one brief little afternoon knitting. So I need to do this twice, and I love the fit of the sleeve so far. It's nice and big, so anything can fit beneath it, and should it shrink a little bit over time, as I feel like all of my sweaters tend to do with washing, it'll still fit me, which is nice. I feel like my sweaters do shrink. Like I'm actually shrinking in size very slowly, and I feel like my sweaters are too. It's weird, but yeah, I just say that I'm shrinking in size because I bought these pants from Ella too. I'll try to step on this chair and not break my neck to show you. I haven't tried this before. They're a little too big. With a belt, they fit rather fine, but they're nice and high-waisted little trousers, wool trousers. But they're very roomy, so I want to try to gain weight. I don't know. I mean, I have to eat a really restrictive diet of no dairy, no gluten, so that cuts out a lot of stuff that makes I don't know, I'm like withering away a little bit. But yeah, I made fudge last night for the first time, and I should have made sure I had all of my ingredients because I added coconut because I ran out of coconut oil, and I was like, well, if I blend this coconut enough, it'll become oil, because it does, like it separates, but there's more fiber anyway. It's okay. It's like part of my holiday mission to consume treats without refined sugar and such. So I also have to limit my sugar intake too. So that's like, I don't know. I've been knitting a little bit on my Daydreamer. Not much progress has been made since I've shown you this, but I kind of don't want this project to ever stop. It's a nice background project. And I just can't wait for my Jenny at the fair to be done. I want to wear her. I want her in February when it's cold, and I'm just like, can't wait for winter to be over with. Like 1 more month to go. So she's gonna be finished first. I really don't have any expectations for this girl because she's such a slow grow that I'm okay with her sitting in the background for a wee bit of time while I cast on more new sweaters. So I'm gonna run through 3 sweaters I've shown you in the past. If you've seen this episode, or if you've seen this reviewed in other episodes before, feel free to skip ahead. I know it might be redundant for you, but I wanted to show off my yarn because it's what I live for. I love yarn so much. One day I will devote my life to yarn, absolutely. But anyway, I happen to have a skein of Jameson Smith in my stash. It's nearly identical. Honestly, I can't tell the difference. Maybe it has a teeny bit more gold. Anyway, it matches perfectly these 3 skeins of Jamesons of Shetland. Is that it? Yep. Spindrift. So I bought these at the Brooklyn General store when I was there, and I'm gonna use this Jameson Smith to complete the quantity needed for a different Kate Davies sweater. I bought last November her Knitting Seasons pattern, like club or whatever, and so I got a ton of her patterns over this past year, and they're all really great, and I'd love to knit them all, but I have to just do one at a time. So I don't know what I've knit from her. Oh, I knit a dolman sleeve with my hand spun with a pattern of hers. Very simple. I love that. I bought a pattern of hers and started a raglan shaped pullover, but I didn't quite finish because I kept fudging it. And I just tore that out and I found a new use for the yarn. But this will be my second Kate Davies, and I feel like I really like her pattern writing. So yeah, let's see here. This is my yarn for, ooh, you see that cute little gradient there? I'm gonna walk through these yarns together. So this is Jameson Smith 2-ply jumper weight. This red, it's an orangey red color. It's shade 125. This green here is my hand spun. It is a Shetland fiber, Shetland wool that I bought from Port Fiber. So this is dyed by Port Fiber. I believe the color is called Lichen. It's a very true green, kind of a yellowy green in tone. I'm kind of losing the sunlight here. Sorry, it's a really overcast day. The other two yarns are both Finogarn, the Rauma base. You know, I believe like these are all going to be a little bit off in gauge. I think that the Jameson's is a wee bit thinner than the Rauma, and my hand spun a little bit thicker than the Rauma. So these two together might be interesting just texturally, but I feel like they're all close enough that it'll make a nice garment. And I really like the, you know, I bought these two colors blindly from the computer, from the internet, not knowing exactly how they would appear in real life. And I really like them between these kind of Christmas colors here. So I might cast this on in December before the year is up, just to get it started, because I don't think I'll ever find a better use for these kind of random bits of wool. So many different colors. I feel like this is just gonna be a nice background project for some while. I have another colorwork sweater. So that is going to be like a ripple pattern. But I have a true colorwork, you know, sweater that I've already bought. So I'm excited that I don't have to spend more money to make it. It's kind of been in my stash for a minute. I have, I don't know, 5 skeins of this somewhere. This is Quinton Company's Finch yarn in the colorway Twig. It's this beautiful kind of purplish gray brown. It's like an indescribable color. It's kind of like a charcoal that has a little bit of purple in it. I'm not a purple fan, and I know from reading Ella Gordon's Ravelry page that she doesn't like purple either, so I felt like a lot less alone in this world. But I'm gonna hold it together with Joseph and Ani by Abundant Earth Fiber, an amazing yarn mill out in the Pacific Northwest. I think they're in Washington State or like Whidbey Island. And I'm gonna hold it together with Ocean by the Sea's mohair silk blend. I'm gonna hold this double. So I'm gonna have a color work with mohair sweater. I'm planning to knit Elizabeth Kramer's sweater. I don't know the name of it, but I'm gonna put it here for you to see. You can imagine it in these yarns. And I have my last year Black Friday yarn stash I bought from Abundant Earth Fiber, again, their Verdant yarn. This is 80% merino and 20% rambouillet. And when I purchased it, I thought that it would be a natural gray blended with undyed white, but it turns out that the dark color that is blended is dyed over. So it is like a true black dyed fiber, and that made it turn out a little bit kind of a steely gray, kind of a bluish gray. And I don't wear a lot of cool tones. And so when I was researching patterns to knit with this quantity of yardage I have in worsted weight yarn, I realized I have about as much yardage in a silk mohair by Cigar, which is also a very steel gray color. So I thought that these would look so nice together. I've been wanting to knit more mohair this year, and so I am having a mohair moment right now in 2019 that is sure to extend into 2020. So I don't know when, but I think maybe after I finished Jenny at the fair and I've cast on another new color work pattern, I'll also cast on another cardigan so that I have, I don't know, I just can't wait. I just want everything started and made. So I've refilled this basket. I had in it my Jenny at the fair yarn. So like these are my sweaters. Sweaters on the horizon, spilling all over the place. I did cast on to start knitting Brian's, sorry about that. I did cast on a hat pattern I bought on Ravelry. Just been working on this the last couple days. I've actually knit this amount of yarn twice because a hat is its own gauge swatch. So I learned that I needed to really think about swatching more. I have a yarn haul to show you. I need to check the time really quick. I have two like background cast-ons that I want to show you that are in my future. On the weekend of Thanksgiving, I knew I might want to do a little bit of shopping. I usually make like one yarn purchase on sale at this time of year, and I couldn't stop myself. She was offering 20% off their Harrisville Designs watershed yarn, and I bought enough to knit myself two things. One is a garment that I'll be making out of the spoonwood. Is that correct? No, Stonewall color. It's this beautiful charcoal gray at a distance. When you look up close, it resembles, and I don't say this disparaging because I adore it, but it resembles carpet padding a little bit because it's a blend of yellow and red and green and blue. You can see it in the light there. It's very subtle, but gorgeous and very light. These are all 50-gram skeins, but there's so much air in them. They're like the size of a 100-gram skein, so not a lot of yardage, but it's going to be such a warm knit. I'm thinking about knitting a second Nightingale sweater with this yarn here because I do think I would love another one. And I might have to cast this on first because I'm thinking I might have an extra skein to add to the second project I shopped for with the same yarn, which is a triangular shawl I would like to knit. I very recently was watching all seasons of Outlander and I'm just obsessed with Claire's triangular shawls. I really would like my own. So I bought several skeins of the spoonwood color. It reads like an olive green. Like the other, it is made up of multi colors. Beautiful yarn. This is all spun in the US at the Harrisville Designs mill in, I believe, New Hampshire. And it's pure virgin wool, 110 yards per 50 grams. So, true worsted in a woolen prep. And I just love this. I got a single skein of penstock. I would definitely make another sweater. Not another sweater, but I would definitely knit myself a sweater in this yarn. It's a gorgeous color, just like the others, a blend of those primaries. And very lovely. So I just got one of these, about 7 of these, and I think like 10 or more of these for the sweater. So really excited about those. I shop every Black Friday for a little bit of yarn. I can't stop myself buying something on sale. So thank you, Woolly Thistle. I appreciate everything that you do and putting things on a discount during the holidays. I love that. So I just love how all these heathered colors look both together, whether they're worn together or knit together. And I wanted that shawl. So I made up free shipping with an extra sweater quantity. So thank you, Woolly Thistle, for supplying all the best yarns. It wouldn't be Black Friday weekend without you. And I'm really excited to have that in my stash now. So now I can finally say I'm not buying any yarn until May. I don't think I showed you any of my spinning. I have been spinning. You saw it all pretty much in my Vlogmas videos. So there's nothing really new there you haven't taken a peek at yet, but this week is exciting. We have our holiday party at work on Saturday. I have no plans at all, except my friends are playing a show that night too, so we're gonna go see them. They're called Spooled Up. They're a band from Baltimore, and I think you can check them out on SoundCloud or Bandcamp or some type of website like that. They're really good. So yeah, that's all that's on the horizon for me. So I'm gonna find ways to fit knitting into my daily life. Hopefully edit this video and get it up to you soon. That's kind of the major distraction I have from actually making, which is great because it means that I have a really nice work balance right now. So I want to thank you all so much for watching this episode of the Thread to Mend podcast. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Taylor E. Owen, and I would love to connect with you on either of those platforms. So feel free to reach out to me. Leave a comment below if anything strikes you in this episode. I want to thank you so much for sharing some helpful info that I asked for in my previous episode. So thanks for listening. Thanks for taking the time to comment. It really means so much to hear from you and know what you're up to. So have a great day. Take care.